Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on a Tuesday night, which means we're heading back into Battle World. I've got Kill with me, of course, and Eric. And guys, tonight, I'm telling you, I know we've said this quite a few times, at least a few times. This might be the one, man. This might be the most difficult situation of all time. All right. For you for you guys in the chat, thank you for coming to hang out with us. We appreciate it. Just to give a blanket hello to all of you guys here. We got Russell in the house. What's up, Russell? We got Paula. Hey, Paula, how you doing? RJ is in the house. This is gonna be a tough one. Both are classics. That's right. That's right. We got Danielle in the house, one of the biggest Terminator fans of all time. What's up?
She is.
All right. Okay. We got Wayne in the house saying this will be a tough battle. Well, there we go. Now we know. All right. Okay. Brandon, yes, right out the gate. Judgment Day was an intro to Terminator. There you go. Very, very cool, man. It is awesome. We got John in the house and just got off of work here in San Diego. What's going on? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be rocking it out tonight. Oh, I'm telling you, can't wait. Alan is in the house. What's up, Alan? We got Scott is back with us again. What's up, Scott? Thank you for hanging out with us again. We appreciate the support. And let's see, who else do we have here? We got Spoof. We got Kay. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Lars is in the house. Good to have you. Good to have you. Gene, of course, is here. David saying two of my faves. There you go. Very cool. Doob in the house. Just cracked open my first beer. There you go. Charlie's in the house. What's up, Charlie? All right. And last but not least, and we got other people jumping in and make sure that you guys get comfortable. But we have a very special person in the chat tonight. I just wanted to say a big happy birthday to the general herself, Val.
All right. Happy birthday, Val.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate that. Doing that on your birthday. That's very kind of you, Val. I hope you enjoyed your relaxing day. But seriously, happy birthday. And thank you for all that you do, all of your friendship. And it means so much to us here, but also in so many other places, which is awesome. I'm just really, we're really lucky to have you as a friend. Thank you for being here. So everybody wish Val a happy birthday in the chat. Very cool to have her here tonight. All right. And we got Brandon in the house too, saying let's get down to brass tacks. All right. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. And let's do this real quick off the bat. Let's play this clip for the general. Even though it's her birthday, I kind of get a sense that, you know, she's still going to be like just taking care of business. And this is an oldie that I think she used to really enjoy. Let's play this one. Here we go.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time.
There we go. Don't mess with the, don't mess with the general. That's right. That's right. You're welcome, Val. You're very welcome. And again, thank you for being here. Seriously. All right. Demented and Melissa in the house. All right, so let's get this thing started, man. I can't even believe this is coming to pass. Eric, can you tell us who officially is in corner number one for tonight in Battle World?
Yes, sir. This competitor is proof of what the dangers of AI can be, especially supposedly 5 years from now. This competitor said he'd be back, and after 1 year of no competition, he is. This competitor is perhaps have the biggest victory in Battle World history with a 86-48 win over RoboCop. And he proved that if you're in the ring in front of him, he can't be bargained with. He can't be reasoned with. He doesn't feel pain, remorse, or fear when competitors are lined up. And he absolutely will not stop until he becomes the Battle World champion. From the mean streets of Los Angeles, California in the year 2029, we have the Terminator.
All right. That was good, man. That was really good. He really did destroy RoboCop. I did not expect it to go like that, man, because RoboCop is awesome.
I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we allowed super chats to affect the outcome, and
Yeah.
Sir
Ooh, I
James was
tell you,
not playing around.
he was not. He was not. All right. So in corner number 2, officially that is, listen, it's just a job. That's all it is. A job in the endless dark of space. Glorified truckers in space, if you will. You better hope that everyone can get along, even with that crappy bonus situation hanging over your head. The coffee's the only good thing in this place. Parker will tell you that. But if you have to investigate a distress call, be careful. Don't question what the hell that space jockey is, because we don't even know. And it's funny looking directly into an egg that's about to hatch. So you may not want to do that either. It's no big deal, right? Let's just have dinner, and we might have a special uninvited alien guest that comes along with us. Work together. Don't stay in the tunnels. Hope you have underwear on for your final battle with the xenomorph, because in space, no one can hear you scream. Here's the Nostromo crew featuring Ellen Ripley in Alien. All right. Man, Kill, let's go to Kill's corner. What do we got, man? What do you think about this? Alien versus Terminator, bro.
I got goosebumps with this one, guys. Like this is no joke. All right, two of the toughest women in horror sci-fi, Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connor, and two of the most efficient killers in sci-fi horror, the Xenomorph and the T-800. Is that his model? Yep, T-800. I need your clothes, boots, and motorcycles. Look, this is going to be good. This is really, and this is tough, you know, and I know we say it so many times before, oh, this is going to be a tough one. All three of us here, we love these movies, and there will be no lying here.
That's right.
You don't want to miss this one, guys. Turn the oven off, focus in on this. If you like a certain movie, rep your movie. You know what you might need to do, because this one is not to be missed.
That's right, man. Absolutely. Well said, man. That was the most passionate Kills commentary of all time. There you go.
Dude, hey, look, I've been waiting for this one, man. I don't know which way it's gonna go.
I don't either.
He's the best hype man since Troutman.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. So, hey, look, also just to say hey to what's up to Steven in the house, our brother from Craven Something Scary. What's up, man? Good to have you here too. So, Kill, do you hear it? Do you hear it coming down to the arena?
I hear like exoskeleton feet and claws and like a tail.
That's right. Okay, so let's get ready for the intro. You guys know how we roll. For you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax. It's time to go two classics versus each other. Alien versus Terminator. You know what time it is.
I'll be back.
Terminator is out there.
You're terminated, fucker.
There it is, man. Hey, look. Can I tell you guys something? That was the quickest intro I've ever done on Battle World. Like, it just came together. It was lean in me. You know why? Because I know these movies so well. And I already knew exactly. I've never had, usually I could spend a couple of hours doing a single intro for these shows every single week. I think I knocked this one out in less than a half hour easily.
Nice.
I mean, it was crazy because I was just like, yep, boom, boom, boom. The edit went fine. I didn't even have to re-edit it. Usually I have to go through and edit at least twice. Didn't have to do it this time. That's how good
for
these
you.
movies are. That's what I'm talking about, man. All right, you guys in the chat. We got May in the chat too. What's up, May? Good to have you. Love both of these movies. You know what's up. There you go. We're gonna do this like we always do it, guys. We're gonna give the point to the film that we think deserves the point. We're gonna go category by category. We got a ton of categories, man. You guys in the chat, let us know what you think. We are not gonna get to everybody. I can already tell you that because I know we're gonna have like a huge conversation going on here. But if you choose to, if you send in a super chat, number one, we'll make sure that we get to your comment or question. And also, you can use that super chat to go to the film of your choice. And of course, it helps the channel, and we appreciate all that support as well. Ooh, man. All right. Let's do this thing. Kill. Whew. I'm actually kind of nervous. This is crazy.
Pull off the Band-Aid night. Come on.
Yeah.
We've done like 60 something episodes, which by the way, just awesome stuff. We're heading to 100, man. This is crazy. I'm actually nervous. Okay.
Well, let me say this.
Kill.
You know, I said it in my intro. It's been a year since we did Terminator. It's been a year since we did an Alien film. They both are 1 win and 0 losses. So keep that in mind too.
Heck yeah, man.
This is going to defend. This
telling
is going to depend, and show us what the first loss is.
Woo. This is like Clash of the Titans, man. Release the Kraken. Okay. Kill. We're going to start this thing off as we always do with the poster. Okay. The poster. So we've got the poster. I can't wait to hear Kill on this. We got the poster for Alien, and we got the poster for the Terminator. Who gets the point and why, bro?
Can you guys see my facial expressions? It's like I currently own both of these posters. They both are 2 of the best posters in cinematic history.
That's right.
I love the Terminator one. I mean, Schwarzenegger in the big red letters. It takes up the whole poster. He looks badass. Is he a human? Is he a robot? I don't know. He looks cool as hell. Go to the Alien one real quick, please. Simplicity, curiosity. I love the lettering. I love the way the letters are for Alien. I love the colors. I'm gonna go with Alien, very by a small margin, because it's just something about it. I don't really know what I'm looking at. Is it an egg with a light on inside the egg? Is it green ooze coming? Is it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of there? I don't know. Secret of the Ooze. I don't know, but it makes me curious, and it just looks foreboding. Whatever's coming out of that, I don't know if I want to know.
Okay. All right. Eric, how about you, man?
I've always said like less is more, and these 2 posters are pretty simple in a good way. You know what I mean? A lot of times we've said, that's kind of generic, and we don't really like them both. I love them both because of how simple they are. I love the mystery of Alien, but I'm gonna go with Terminator, and the reason why is it's not just Arnold front and center with a gun. I love the color. I love how the red lines behind him mixed with they match the red of Schwarzenegger. I love how I've always loved the Terminator font, the title font. I love how that mixes into his jacket a little bit. And then you have you can go into this movie completely blind, but you can kind of figure out maybe even if that the tagline isn't on the poster, that this has to do with like a killer robot, because I love the touch of the little bit of lettering in his shades. So you can tell he's not human. He's a possible killer robot. And that little bit is going to push it slightly over the mystery of Alien for me.
Well said. Well said. For me, this is so tough. I love both of these posters. I think both of these posters are great examples of old school posters. You know what I mean? Like, they're just really well done. You guys said it all. I can only say this. When I was a kid and I first saw one of these on the box, for the video when we rented it or whatever, it just struck me. There was a lot of things that just struck me. And although this is really close and difficult, I'm going to give the point to Alien. And All I can tell you is that when I was a kid, man, looking at that cover was just like, what the heck? I mean, part of it, and when we talk about poster, we talk about everything on the poster, like you guys.
Mhm.
Oh, it's the font, it's just, the egg is cracking. What does that mean? Like, it's just so crazy. But the coloring of it, like, that was so amazing back in the day, and it still is. So I'm gonna go with Alien on this one, man. It's close because I love the Terminator poster as well, man. I really do. All right. First category down. Rachel,
Take a breath. You'll be okay.
right? Rachel's in the chat. Alien poster wins. Love the green and the shadows. All right. Okay. Bored now. Keith in the house saying he'd go with the Terminator. Love the neon colors and how cool Arnie looks. There you go. DJP's in the house. Terminator beats Alien in everything. The end. Well, don't be so sure. You haven't seen all the categories yet. If I said which movie is the better movie in space, I'm pretty sure Alien would win that one. So wait till you see the categories. This is going to be close. I can already tell you guys, seriously. Scott going with Alien. All right. Very, very cool. Alan going with Terminator. So we're right down the line as I assumed we would be in the chat. Paula in the house. Russell is going with the Terminator. Okay. All right. Hey, what's going on, Jason? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right. Danielle, technically Earth is still in space. Yeah, there you go. All right. Next up, the tagline kill. We're going to go with the tagline. Okay. So the tagline for the Terminator is the thing that won't die in the nightmare that won't end. Okay. And then for Alien, of course, I know you know this probably as well as anyone on this planet. In space, no one can hear you scream. Who gets the point and why?
This is Easy Street. It's Alien for 100%. Come on, man. You just read the Terminator one, and I just forgot the thing in the nightmare and the Clockwork Night, and Clockwork Orange, and something in space. No one can hear you scream.
I know
that's your ass, man. Like game over, man. Game over. Alien.
All right.
Easy work.
All right, Eric, how about you?
To quote my buddy Kill, this is Easy Street. That's your ass, man. it's Alien. It's super simple, but it really, it has this scary feel to it. You know what I mean? Because you're
that's right.
I'll joking aside, you're gonna be getting into some serious shit. Why? What is it in space that's going to make you scream to begin with?
Right.
And then if no one can hear you scream, there's no help that's gonna come save you.
That's right.
Alien, 100%.
That's right. I'm not even going to waste anyone's time. It's Alien. It's got to be Alien. And I'm going to tell you, and here's the thing. That tagline works on so many levels, like you guys just explained. And it just gives you that heightened sense of these are huge stakes. It's playing off of the whole idea of it being horror. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's in space. I mean, like, seriously, this was such a different take on what we would expect, a movie in space to be, right? And obviously I'm talking Star Wars type shit. So it worked on so many levels. It was such a smart tagline, and it works. Like, it's still, to me, it's one of the best taglines in cinema history. It really is. Yes. So big props to Alien. Okay. All right. We got 2 categories down. Very cool. And hey, we got Julie in the house. What's up, Julie?
Hey, Julie.
The historian herself. What's going on? Glad to have you here. Okay. All right. Next category. Let's go to the opening kill. The opening is usually the first couple minutes. It could be even maybe 15 minutes of the film. Who gets the point and why, Kill?
They're doing this. They're doing the same thing, but in different ways. They're building the universe. Terminator, we see the future war. Something that it the way that that's represented is so dire. It's so menacing. It's so unforgiving. You're seeing these robots just massacring humans. You're seeing the technology that they have. And then, of course, we get into the whole, coming to the present day. Alien is foreboding and mysterious. The pace is slower. The camera is just kind of going through the halls of the Nostromo. You know, we finally get to, you know, everybody waking up and so forth. So it's building the tension. It's building the unknown. I love both of these movies' openings. I'm barely gonna give it to Terminator because just to see the future war and all of that, and then we go from this hyper futuristic war zone to present day, or you know, at that time present day Los Angeles. The juxtaposition is just there, and it's just amazing to visually see this represented. So Terminator.
All right. Okay. Eric, how about you?
Oof. Even if we went 15 minutes, you know what I mean, for the opening, they're like Kill said, they're doing the same thing, but they're so different in the way that they do it. I love how cold the opening to Alien is. You know what I mean? It is really taking its time, but it's not boring. It's getting me invested. You know, first off, you know, the opening title sequence is great. But then when we see inside the ship, we're just hearing the buttons click and this and that,
That's
the
right.
noise. Everyone wakes up and they're just having coffee. But we're getting to know these people by the way they interact with each other. And I like that. They're a team. I'm giving it to Terminator, though. The reason why is I think if we're putting them together with this opening, the reason why I'm going to give it to Terminator is because we get the sense of the plot and where we're going to go a little faster. And because they start right in the war, and we got some great shots, not just the hunter killer flying, that shot of the hunter killer going over those skulls. That's within 15 seconds. Okay, we know shit's going down. And
That's
then
right.
again, when Arnold shows up and he just, you know what I mean? He's looking out into Los Angeles and he kills those 3 thugs or 2 thugs and steals the other's clothes. Okay, he kills one dude with his bare hands. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just for a
Yes.
pile of clothes. And then we see what happens with Michael Biehn and stuff like that. So I think Terminator wins because it gets its point across faster. And in this category, for me, that's why it wins.
Okay. All right. Listen, man, you guys have said it all. These are both great openings that are doing they're trying to achieve the same thing, but they're doing it in 2 different types of ways. You know, one is really got the intensity and one is got that anticipation that's going on. You know, what is going to be around the corner in this spaceship that looks totally different than spaceships that we usually see in sci-fi films, which was on purpose by Ridley Scott. I got to go with the Terminator on this as well, and I'm going to tell you why. I think that it had a little bit more layers to it, you know, as far as showing the future, taking us back to present day LA, and then of course Arnold appearing, and you're just thinking, what? Like, there's so many questions. You've got multiple questions in that first, whatever, even 8 minutes or so of the film. And it was just absolutely crazy. Not to mention that the beginning of it, I thought was fantastic, man. That opening crawl, I'll never forget when I first saw that and I read that as a kid. Kill, you remember when we first saw this film as kids? It freaked me out. This whole film did, but that opening crawl starts you off on the right foot. You know, the machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. The battle would not be fought in the future; it'd be fought here in our present tonight. And then the opening logo. So I just think there was more layers to the Terminator that were just fantastic, and just the questions. You know, you got the future, you got the present, you got Arnold. What the hell? I don't know what he is. Back then, we didn't know what he was. As a little kid, I didn't know that he was a cyborg. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So awesome stuff. But both openings are great. Okay. In the chat, Kay is going with Terminator. And wow, Danielle's going with Alien. That's crazy. So much slower, but comes across as so much more real and immersive. Terminator's opening was a bit too 80s sci-fi cheese. Wow. Coming from a huge Terminator fan. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. May is going with the Terminator. Okay, yeah. Running over a pile of skulls. Just some great imagery that they had, man. It was just so cool. And yes, definitely rest in peace to the late great Bill Paxton, no doubt. Hey, we got Phil in the house. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Very cool to have you here. And Gene says, I have never seen the Terminator. Oh, Gene, you've got to watch the Terminator. Ooh. Wow. All right. Phil's a fan of both. All right. But Alien over Terminator for me. Okay. Very cool. We've got a channel member anniversary for our man Super Tenor. 8 months going strong. Saying, hey. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to have you here. And thank you so much for the support and all the positivity you always bring into the chat. Very, very cool. All right. And he's going with Alien. Russell's going with the Terminator. Wow. And Danielle saying, I give respect where respect is due. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we do here. That's what we do. Julie said, I've only seen T1 and T2. Okay. Well, you're not in bad company there. But have you seen Alien? Let us know, Julie. I'm curious. All right, Kill. Our next category. This is already tight. The story. The story. Who gets the point and why?
Okay. Two things can be true with what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Both of these stories are simplistic but yet complex.
Yes.
Bottleneck film. Alien gets on a ship, kills everyone. You got to try to survive it. This one, the cityscape. Bad guy comes back to kill you. Another guy comes back to save you. You might live, you might die. This is tough. This is really tough. But I'm going to go with Terminator. And my reasoning for that is I'm a sucker for time travel. I'm a sucker for this guy is coming back from the future. He works for my son, but he's going to be my son's father because we're going to fall in love, but he's going to die here. Sorry for spoilers, guys. And then on top of that, just the whole complexity of humanity in the future, how we've lost to the machines, yet we created the machines, and now they deemed us, the issue, and they take us out. The story of Alien obviously is great. The xenomorph is one of the most iconic creatures ever designed. And the camaraderie that everyone has, I could go on and on, but Terminator just has those extra layers and it does it so well. So I got to go with Terminator.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Eric, how about you, man?
Yeah, they're both great stories, but like Kill said, I'm going with Terminator because I'm also a sucker for anything time travel. And I'm pretty much going to repeat everything he said, especially the importance of the outcome of the story. Like we're already like humanity's gone. You know what I mean? So that ups the importance. Now, don't get me wrong. The crew trying to survive the xenomorph, that's super important. But that's a crew of what, 6, 7, maybe? If Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor don't survive, or at least Sarah Connor doesn't survive, that's all of humanity. So the stakes are higher. And that's why it inches a little bit above Alien to me, just because of the stakes, the danger. And then when you find out, that the little twist that Kyle Reese is the father of the unborn child, you know what I mean? That again, that ups like the hero factor for me. For I'm sure we're going to get to characters later, but that story wise, that's just a cool little twist for me that I didn't realize as a kid. You know what I mean? But as I got older and I knew how things worked, I'm like, wow, they had the balls to go there too. You know what I mean? Got to go Terminator.
All right. For me, both of these stories, like you guys said, I mean, you guys are pretty much said a lot. They're both great stories, and they're both really lean stories. But and this is a really cool trick when you have movies that do this, and the best films can do it. It's such a simple and lean story, but it's got layers within it that kind of hit you, when you least expect it. Both films do that really well, because Alien also, I mean, the whole idea of the company, the whole reveal of Ash, all these different things that kind of happen, and you're experiencing it while the Nostromo crew experiences it as well. And that's why you're so invested in them as they dwindle down, like, you know, little Indians getting offed off. But Terminator has to get the point, just like you guys said. The idea of time travel and incorporating sci-fi with action and horror, it was just money. I mean, this is basically a sci-fi slasher when you think about it. And we know this because Cameron was inspired by The Shape and John Carpenter. And we know that. And you can see that in the film. So it's doing so much with such a simple story. You know, robot comes back in time to kill a woman who's going to give birth to the savior of humanity. That's it. But there's all these other layers in there. So I'm also going to give the point to Terminator for story. Okay. Brandon's going with Alien. Okay. Wayne's going with Terminator. Keith is going with Terminator. And Julie has seen, okay, Aliens, Prometheus, and Romulus. Okay. All right. Cool. Rachel saying both simple premises that make for great films. I have to give the edge to Terminator because I find it more fun. Okay. Very, very cool. Steven is going with Terminator. Wins for the story for me. Okay. Very cool. Let's see. I just want to make sure I catch up with everyone. I won't be able to catch up with everyone, but and Julie, thank you so much. We got 39 people in the chat. Let's get the 39 likes. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. Okay, next category. We're going into the music kill. We got the music for Alien by the legendary Jerry Goldsmith, and we got the music for Terminator by Brad Fiedel. Who gets the point and why?
Oh man.
I know, right?
Both of these movies have epic, legendary music.
Yes.
And this might be a cheat, but the way that I'm going to go about it is the usage of the music. I'm going to go with Alien, barely. And my reasoning for that is sort of like what Eric was saying, just in the beginning with the tracking shots and monitors turning on, you hear it. It's very faint. It's just very faint, the instruments, and it's haunting. And then as the movie ramps up, it's you're boiling a toad. The music gets more frantic, you know, and just you know, it's like, you know, when things just start going in batshit crazy, it's there with you, and it's there to the point where you notice it, but you don't notice it because it complements just all of the insanity that's going on in the screen. You know, Dallas in the tunnels. You know, well, where is it? I don't see anything. It's coming. You know, you can hear the music, but you hear screams, you hear this, and then you hear your boy. You know, so it's like, you know, the music is just amazing. No disrespect to Terminator. Those themes, you know, especially like, you know, where he's running and you get the synthesizer music and so forth, and it's just there, and it's timeless. It's not like, oh, this sounds too 80s. It's just timeless. And he's a hunter. It's a hunting music. But I just barely am gonna go with Alien.
Wow. Okay. All right, Eric, how about you?
Well, first off, that's not cheating because I've used that as a way to choose my winner too. So I support you. But I'm also going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go with the Terminator. And it's true that you have to listen for the music for Alien a lot of times. And in a category like this, I think that works against it. Now, that opening theme to Terminator is classic. It's different than Terminator 2. A lot of people don't realize it's not the same theme.
Right.
You had that little bit of buildup. You know what I mean? And then you hit that classic theme. You know, so you have a great mixture of intensity, you know, and then you have this weird dangerous feeling, like you're in danger. I like that. But again, like Kill said, the scene when the chase scene, you know, when they're in the car and the Terminator leaps on the hood, that's a great piece of music. And I just love, you know, because this theme is like, for some reason, you know, there'll be times when I'll just find myself humming it. You know what I mean? It's one of those themes, like it's this, RoboCop, and like Superman. the original Superman. Those are like
Yeah.
my top 3 themes of all time, because once they I'll just start humming them just for the hell of it, because they're so good and iconic, and it's really hard to beat Terminator for me.
All right. This is, I mean, this so far could be the toughest category for me, because I think both of these films kill it for the music or score, however you want to, call it. We're not talking about like the rock music in Terminator. We're talking about the score
Right.
from Brad Fiedel and the score from Jerry Goldsmith. They're both so good, man. Like when shit is going down in Alien, it is so and it's like all this stuff going on. And of course, the Terminator theme, everybody knows that, and all the little variations within the film. God, man.
Right?
Let me just say this, and I know people, people watching in the chat or the replay. I mean, we're very serious when we say these types of things. If we say it's really difficult, because I could easily give the point to either one of these. I really could, because I really enjoy the themes for both, the scores for both. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with Terminator for right
Go with
now.
your gut, dude.
And on my Spotify, and I have both soundtracks. On my Spotify, I was just listening to the Terminator soundtrack 2 days ago, and I was blasting it. That opening theme, man.
Pumps you up, dude. Yeah.
It's just so freaking good. Brad killed it, coming off of, like, I think he was doing commercials and TV movies, scoring stuff like that, and then he gets this, and everything in that film is so crazy. It seems like it's modern, like today it still like works. It's not aged, you know what I'm saying? And that's because it's just so otherworldly, but yet recognizable. It's just so good, man. I'm edging it out to Terminator, man.
When you say it doesn't age, we're wrestling fans. I don't know if you guys like UFC or something like that, but this is something that the Terminator theme is like something a wrestler or a UFC fighter, like, could you imagine Brock Lesnar coming out to like the Terminator theme?
Oh yeah.
And it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yes.
it could easily work in modern day. So
it could, man. It's just so good, man. It really, really is. All right. Steven saying Terminator's music is awesome. Terminator music wins for me. Okay. Alan's going with Terminator. Brandon said Brad Fiedel's Terminator scores forever ingrained in my brain, especially the opening of T2. All right. Scott saying Terminator for the music. It feels as mechanical as the Terminator. That's a great way to word it too. It does feel mechanical. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes right with it. And it, it's so grimy and gritty and dark, and like it just so works with it. It's just awesome. It is just absolutely awesome. All right, let's go to our next category. This is crazy stuff, man. Characters kill. Characters in the film. All of the characters in each film.
Oh man.
Okay.
Eric, you gotta, now when we get to you, Eric, you gotta tell me why you did that. But Kill, let's start with you. What do you think?
So there's, once again, two things can be true. Alien has quantity and quality.
Yeah.
Terminator does not have as many characters that we follow. Essentially, we follow, our two main protagonists, and we follow the bad guy that's trying to kill him. But those three do such a great job. And even Arnold, who he barely speaks in the film, he's just a presence. I'm gonna go with Alien. And the reasoning for that is something that we've touched on time and time again, and you mentioned it slightly earlier. I don't think of these guys as truckers. These guys are oil rig workers to me. They're worried about their bonuses. They're eating crappy food, drinking good coffee. They're ready to go home, but their job is not done. And they even say, "Hey, look at your contract." Yaphet Kotto is just a joy to watch.
He is.
He is just, and obviously Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt. I mean, everybody plays their part. We learn about the characters just enough to know a little bit more about them and who's buddy and who are the slackers and who are the ones that are by the book. Ellen is by the book, which
That's
They're
right.
awesome for that. You know? And you just really feel a bond with these people. And at that time, you didn't see these type of space adventurers.
Right.
Everyone was prim and proper. It was Star Trek on TV.
That's
It
right.
was, you know,
Star
space wizards
Wars.
with lightsabers.
Mhm.
Everything was clean and pristine and nice. Not this. I love these characters. They're like old friends of mine. I gotta go for Alien.
All right. Eric, how about you? What got you to do the sigh?
Well, when you said characters, which means everybody, you know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
makes it harder because there are certain characters I like a lot more, you know, when it comes to the final girls, which I won't reveal just in case we have a category. But like, damn it, this is my hard category. I like because you know, again, Yaphet Kotto. He's one of those guys that, you know, you don't have to be friends with him, but you kind of like him. You know what I mean? He's grumpy. He just wants his coffee. He's got his little lackey, you know, with Harry Dean Stanton. I love him. Tom Skerritt is a great leader.
Yes.
That's very important. You have to respect your captain, and they do. Ripley is a take no prisoner, doesn't give a shit. And that's, you know, she's one of my favorite scenes is when Yaphet Kotto is trying to give her crap, and she's just like, why don't you just fuck off? You know what I mean? She doesn't care. I love that about her.
Yes.
But I'm going with Terminator. And it's tough. Michael Biehn is one of my favorite characters in all of movies.
Yeah.
Or Kyle Reese. Michael Bihn's Kyle Reese is one of my favorite characters. I want to state that, Courtney.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, because you believe him. He makes this mission seem so important. And it doesn't matter whether Sarah believes him or not. He's going to get the job done. Like, I love the scene where she bites him. He says, Terminators don't feel pain. I do. Don't do that again. And you believe he might have, you know, I hate to say it, smack some sense into her. I like Sarah's progression, but I also, you know, Arnold's great. You know what I mean? We don't really need to talk about him, but I like these side characters a little bit more. You know what I mean? Paul Winfield and Lance Henriksen, they're gold. They are a married couple. You know what I mean? How do I look? You look like shit. Your mama, you know?
Your mama,
yeah. How's my coffee? I put a cigarette out in it. But, you know, but then in the end, when Paul's hurt and Lance is going to take on a guy that, you know, outweighs him by 300 pounds, you know what I mean? The loyalty. I love that.
Yeah.
Ginger's okay. She's fine. The boyfriend's a creep. I can overlook him. But there's a lot more to these characters, in my opinion, that's more memorable.
Okay.
And that's just what pushes it. Like, again, we said it 100 times already. This is hard. This is what slightly pushes it over that finish line to Alien. So going with Terminator.
All right. And in the chat, Scott was saying, man, this is a hard one. Both films had great characters. It's very true. Very, very true. For me, you guys had a lot of great, you know, points that you made. Stephen also saying I have to go with Terminator again. Love them all. You know, the idea of Kyle and just his vulnerability and also his heroic you know, deeds and how he's got to get this mission accomplished no matter what. Sarah, of course, the arc that she has is great as well. And like you said, Eric, there's a lot of great side characters. Also, you know, Lance Henriksen was originally going to be the Terminator. You know, Cameron, that's who Cameron wanted. He even did illustrations. They even, when they went to the studio, they had Lance dressing up kind of in the black leather and all that type of stuff. So there's so much history. And you can kind of see that in the film as far as just the tightness, the chemistry that worked. But I have got to give this point to Alien. And the reason, and Kill said a lot of it, when you look at this crew, first of all, it's tough to have that many characters and make it work. The chemistry that they have, you believe that these people have worked with each other forever. And it's just seamless. Everybody. Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Tom Skerritt, Yaphet Kotto, Ian Holm, rest in peace to Ian Holm. You know, it's just all of them. Harry Dean Stanton, you know, all of them. They're just great together. And they all have these little things that just kind of work. You know, they just fit into each other so well. I love the scenes with Parker and Brett. You know, right in the beginning, they just got out of freaking cryo sleep and they're waking up, and you got Brett that's kind of mouthing to Parker, you know, bonus, you know, and he's, oh yeah, you know, I want to talk about the bonus situation. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? You know, when they get the distress call from Mother and Dallas gets everyone back into the room together, and you know, Parker comes in, what's happening now, baby? You know, it's like it just feels so real. You don't get that type of organic feel in a lot of movies with a cast this big. It truly is amazing. So as much as I love Sarah Connor and definitely Kyle Reese, and Arnold was amazing, and you know, Paul Winfield and Lance, I gotta edge this out to Alien. All right. Wow. This is crazy, man.
That was tough for me. That was my
it was tough, man.
Even Silverman was a good character, you know. And he's a lot of people think he's an asshole. I mean, you wouldn't believe Kyle Reese either. That's the context you got to think. You know what I mean? You got to take that into consideration.
That's right. You know? That's right. And Scott's reminding us that it is true. Well, Lance Henriksen did end up playing a robot in a Cameron film. That's right. That is so true. Oh my God, you gotta love it. And you gotta love the fact that Lance Henriksen, along with Bill Paxton, being offed by a Terminator, a Predator, and an Alien. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty damn cool. You know, these franchises. May saying, loving this battle. Thank you so much, May. We appreciate that. We really do. That's why we do this thing. And Julie beat me to the punch. I was just going to see how many likes we had. We got 44 people in, only 34 likes. Guys, please hit the like button. Julie and May, if you guys could send some reminders here and there. We've got 46 people. We're almost at 50 people. This is an amazing battle. So we hope you guys are enjoying it. But if you can hit the like button, it helps us out a lot. Hey. Ninja's in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Next category. The director's kill. We've got two of the greatest. I almost want to answer this first, but I'm going to you first. We got two of my favorite directors, and I know you, all three of us, our favorite directors of all time. Coriander as well. These are legends. These two directors, I know I'm kind of talking over you, Kill. I'm sorry, but I'm just setting it up. These two directors have helped to craft what films have become. And we were very lucky, all of us, because we're all in the same generation. We were lucky to have been right there on the ground. Kill, tell me, who is the better director in this battle? Is it Ridley Scott or is it the king of the world, James Cameron?
See, you know, and me and Eric, we know these questions are coming, and we try to navigate it in our head. There's no lying here. Both of these men, they changed the way science fiction or horror science fiction is viewed. You know, with the visuals, with the special effects, with the stories, just with the imagination that both of these antagonists have in their respective movies. Man, my take on this is who had a tougher job. And once again, this might be a cop-out, but this is how I got to do it. One movie is in space on a spaceship, which is all fictional. The other one is nighttime in Los Angeles. Now, there are levels there. There's you know, chases, there's crazy beautiful special effects that is used for the Terminator. I'm slightly going to go with Alien because not only is everything for the most part being created from imagination, you know, being shot in, you know, tight corridors, having special effects, having a creature that looks like no other alien type of being we've ever seen, and even to this day that we've ever seen. And then on top of that, navigating all of those performances, the actors, their reactions to seeing certain scenes for the first time, seeing certain aliens and special effects for the first time, the lighting, the you know, it's just so much that Ridley Scott had to do. No disrespect to James Cameron, he's the GOAT as well. I got to go with Alien.
Okay, well said, man. Well said. Eric, how about you?
I respect Cameron for what he did, guerrilla filmmaking. Didn't have that many permits. He did what he had to do. You know, he went
That's right.
old Ed Wood style. You know what I mean? Let's get what we
Right.
can get and then get out of here before the cops show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it to Ridley though, because this is where my less is more works. You know what I mean? It's basically just one set. You know what I mean? But it felt like a completely another world for me. You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do without being outer space. I felt like that this spaceship, the Nostromo, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's its own character. It's its
Right.
own world.
Mhm.
And Kill mentioned it too. You know, we're getting the performances out of these characters. That even though I picked Terminator for the characters, these characters are still so good. And what I like about these characters, a great director makes sure that a great cast doesn't kind of overshadow anybody.
Mhm.
Everybody has their time to shine. And other than, you know, I mean, I just said, you know, it's basically in one place. We do have the, you know, the part on the planet with the eggs, but he helps build the tension, I think, a little bit more, again, with less action.
Mhm.
And that's what works for me.
Okay.
And then he nailed it from beginning to end, starting so slow, and I'm never bored. This is nearly a 2-hour movie, and kind of like what I said last night when we were talking Halloween 3 of all things comparing to Alien.
Mhm.
That story, what a good director can do, he makes that story flow from beginning to end with no lag, gives you
Mhm.
likable characters. No disrespect to the king of the world, but I think Ridley Scott edges this out.
Okay. All right. For me, you know, again, this is another tough one, man. Both of these directors killed it. I mean, when you're talking about creativity and the story and their craft, their ambition, you know,
Mhm.
being taskmasters, both of them, you know, that is what they're known as. And there's a reason for that, because when you want to be the best, you have to do it that way. You have to
Yep.
be so committed to what you're doing, you're almost the villain in the room. Both of
Mhm.
these directors were that and still are. Okay. So let me just put that out there. James Cameron did a fantastic job. Ridley did as well. Ridley looked at TCM, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as inspiration for this situation with these truckers in space. Cameron doing the guerrilla filmmaking, fantastic stuff. But I have to give the point. I edge it out to Ridley Scott, and the reason for that is because, and you guys made good points about it too, as far as the different things that he had to do and deal with. Ridley, first of all, the whole situation with Alien coming into play was a huge story in and of itself. Ridley comes on board and he totally changes the trajectory of what they originally were going to do because of his craft. Like, he came in and he said, "Look, this is how we're going to do it." He made so many great choices,
Mhm.
and the idea of having this ship, the Nostromo, being the setting where everything's going on, except for when they obviously go down to check out the distress signal. It's just amazing what he was able to do around every corner. You didn't know what was going to happen, you know, when
Mhm.
you first watched it. The choices he made with the cast when they didn't know exactly how it was going to happen with the chest burster scene. Veronica Cartwright's reaction is real.
Mhm.
It's real. And she slips on the floor, and
Oh,
that is
really?
real. That is real. She was in humongous pain. It's a great story in and of itself. Ridley did these things for better or for worse, you know, to
Yeah.
make this movie as real as possible. I got to edge it out to Ridley on this. Cameron is amazing as well, but there's no lying. There is no
Mhm.
lying. All right. Julie says we're at 40 likes. Okay. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Let's keep on going, guys. In the chat to catch up with everyone. Everyone's talking. This is going to be tough to catch up, but we do have Ben coming in with a super chat. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. We're working hard and we appreciate your support. Saying two tremendous high concept slasher flicks that definitely find themselves in the top 10. Hey guys, always a pleasure to see all of y'all. By the way, Knight, have you seen Strange Darling yet? I have not seen it yet, but I hope to. And I've heard good things. But man, yeah, these are definitely top 10 films, no doubt about it. Ben, thank you so much for the support too. We appreciate that. You know, you're always in the chats, in the comments, in our group threads, everything. Just being so supportive, it makes a big difference. It really, really does.
Mhm.
Okay, you know, Kill. Sometimes when you want to know how to tell someone off and show them that you're not taking any crap, you might not know how to do it, but I know a guy. I know a guy that could teach us all, and this is the guy.
Here. We're fine. It is not in the file. It is not. You son of a bitch!
God bless him.
The late great George C. Scott. If you don't know him, learn, guys. Learn.
Yes.
Open minds here.
We're
We watch
fine.
movies. We're fine. I loved him so much.
He was so good in that, dude.
He was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Ben. And we also have Rachel coming in. And Ben, by the way, Ben, let us know if you're putting that $10 to one of these films. Let me know that, man. If not, then that's fine too. We appreciate the support. But Rachel's coming in too with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Rachel. Saying points to my man Cameron. Here we go. A genius at putting ordinary people in extraordinary situations and making you feel the danger. Great action scenes. Okay, so here we are. We struck gold. 5 points. No, seriously, guys, this is well, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
This makes a
You
difference.
got enough pressure, Nate. Come on.
We've got 5 points to the Terminator. So there we are. Wow. Rachel, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate that. And listen, you know what, Kill? I'm not the type of person that likes a lot of surprises, because sometimes it might end up looking like this.
Here, baby, try this candy. All right, let me see. Here, okay. Have some. It's really good.
God damn! What's so spicy?
Skeet skeet.
Oh, that was great. I've been waiting, man. I was waiting. I was hoping someone was gonna super chat. I was waiting. I got another one too, man. But I was waiting, man.
Oh,
Whew.
wow. Okay.
That was great. Good looking out to you too, Kill.
Yeah.
And by the way, as we always say, if you haven't subscribed to Eric and his channel, make sure you guys do that. There's the link in the chat. We've got the link in the descriptions. Definitely make sure you support our brother. And yeah, it's something you should do right now. All right. Yeah, man. Absolutely. We got Russell in the house. All right. Good to have you here, man. Let's see. And I just want to see if I can catch up. I know it's impossible. And May is working so hard. Thank you so much, both of you guys, you and Julie. Thank you so much for the links. And yeah, we do have some cool stuff coming up. It's going to be a fun week. Okay, next category, Kill. We got to go back to some more masters, man. We got Stan Winston and H.R. Giger. What do you think, man? I mean, we're crafting the actual villains here. The creativity, the artistry. Who gets the point in this battle?
This question didn't even come into my head. Oh man,
You're welcome.
Yeah, Eric thought of it too, man. He was like, "Hey, this is a good one." I was like, "Man,"
I sent right after we got off stream last night. I sent a quick text to your brother. I'm like, "Dude, we gotta have this category."
Yeah.
Wow. Well, obviously they're both masters.
Yes.
To craft such devious and menacing antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So my cheat for this one is
Wow, he's
I love it
a lot.
one of them you see throughout the whole duration of the movie what they really look like. The other one is wearing a meat suit until the end.
Okay.
I'm barely gonna go with H.R. Giger because just the killing machine that is the Xenomorph is a modern marvel. I mean, claws, talons, a spear for a tail, the extra mandible coming out, and then on top of that, acid for blood. All of those layers go into his killing machine. Whereas the T-1000, T-800, no disrespect, it's an exoskeleton, it's a robot, it can mimic your voice, you know, it mimics humans when it has its skin on, but it don't have acid for blood.
All right.
There's no mandibles coming out, so
Mhm.
I barely am gonna go with Alien on this one.
Okay. All right. Eric, how about you?
I rewatched both of these films just for a refresher. I probably didn't need to, but I'm glad I did. And how I my cheat. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with finished product. Regardless of the time frame, I'm gonna go with Giger.
Mhm.
And Stan Winston's amazing.
Yeah, he
The
is.
look of the look of the Terminator with no skin. The
Mhm.
makeup effects as he's slowly getting destroyed is great. The one thing I would, if I have to nitpick, it's something that happens all the time in sci-fi, in horror, when we have like I say, a decapitation or a close-up on a head that is not real, they
Mhm.
cannot get the eyeballs right. And that one shot, I can appreciate what they're doing when he's pulled the damaged eyeball out. That one
Mhm.
shot when the fake head is going like this and that, it
Mhm.
just looks off.
Mhm.
But like I said, nobody has ever gotten that effect perfect, in my opinion, without using computers.
Mhm.
H.R. Giger, Kill pretty much said it with the alien. Let's not forget the what are they called? The engineer. The look of the engineer that they
Yeah.
find, in that giant chair.
Yep.
The face hugger.
Mhm.
The
Right.
inside of the engineer's room. The
Yeah.
walls. Giger was I don't mean this disrespectfully. He was a
Mhm.
strange guy when it came to a
Yes.
lot of his designs.
That's
There's
right.
no other way to put it, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But he has a look. It's dirty,
Mhm.
it's filthy, but it's intriguing. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? You want to know. This makes me want this. When I first saw this movie as a kid, I thought it looked cool. When I got older and I could appreciate the look of it, I ended up looking at some of his work because he's got books
Right.
full of this stuff.
That's
Dude is
right.
amazing.
Mhm.
And we've seen him in other films like Species. Shout out to Species. No one talks about that one. I love that movie. I just think finished product, Giger just kind of nudges out Winston.
Okay, all right. For me, we're talking about legends, and both
Mhm.
of them did amazing things. Stan Winston, it took them a year to build that actual endoskeleton, like the live, skeleton that weighed. I think they said it weighed like 200 pounds, 250 pounds, something like that. They had to have multiple people moving it around, puppeteering it, and all that type of stuff. So the work that they put into that was
Mhm.
crazy. I mean, seriously. Stan Winston's career is undeniable, but I gotta go with Giger on this. And you guys alluded to it. To me, this is something we had never seen. With the endoskeleton, it's a skeleton. There's something to kind of go off on as far as the human body, the human skeleton. With the xenomorph, what the hell is that? What was
Yep.
he thinking? This whole idea of this biomechanical, psychosexual thing that he
Mhm.
created, and like Eric said too, we're also talking about the face hugger as well. We're talking
Yep.
about the eggs. So it's
Yeah.
like the different stages of life of this creature, of the xenomorph. It's just absolutely fantastic. But also the design work, like you said, in the room with the space jockey, that used to freak me out so much as a kid. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Mhm.
What the hell happened? Of course, Ridley decided to answer that question decades later, or try to. But
Mhm.
but I'm just saying, his marriage to Ridley's creativity and Giger's craziness was just, I
Mhm.
mean, it's lightning in a bottle,
Yep.
guys. This is truly an example and a definition of lightning in a bottle from multiple creators working together. So I gotta edge this one out to Giger, and because just we've never seen anything like the xenomorph. We still haven't. Like,
Right.
it's just crazy. So, all right. Now, real quick in the chat, I want to catch up. Ben said the 10 points goes to the Terminator. Wow.
Mm.
I love Alien, but I watch the Terminator more often. Wow. Okay. So the gauntlet has been dropped. If you are a fan of Alien, this is your time to step up to the plate. Wow. All right. Julie saying, I can't wait until the candy cane super chat clip comes back for the Christmas season.
I agree with that, Julie.
Hey, let me just say something. Julie, I don't know if you were with us last night, but I gave you a shout out and I want to say it right now. Thank you so much for going to the Movie Fanatics tier. That was so cool. I was actually waiting to message you because I didn't know if you had been busy the last couple of days, but I will be messaging you soon. But thank you so much for doing that. Really, that was very kind, and it helps us out in so many ways, and you help us out in so many ways, helping with moderating and joining panels and so forth. So you know what? Here you go. This one's for you. God.
Yes.
You rock, Julie. I remember the first time I played that. It was
Look at Eric's face.
crazy. I know. Oh Lord.
I love that one.
I had Tony the Tiger last night. I get that.
Yeah.
And thank God I'm only doing 2 streams this week because I don't know what you'd have in store for me.
I know.
He's getting high on his own supply.
There he goes. Okay. Rachel said, I got to cut out, guys. Massive vid. I'm editing, taking forever. Cameron rules. See you all soon. Already. Have a good night, Rachel. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us and supporting. We appreciate it. Okay. And I think I'm pretty much caught up in the chat. Mayhan says, woohoo. Here you go. Julie saying, thank you, Night. Yes, I was not able to be there last night. Been working some late nights with work. Well, we're glad you're here tonight. And seriously, thank you so much, Julie. We really appreciate that. And it's too cute. She's like, thank you for the clip. Hey, man, listen, that's nothing compared to, you know, what you do for us. So thank you so much.
All jokes
All
aside,
right. That's right. All right. Next category, the villain design.
Come on, man.
Design. Okay, so listen, when we're talking about specifically the xenomorph versus the Terminator, the exoskeleton I'm talking about, Kill, who gets the point? Just one design versus the other as far as how it looks in the film. Okay, what do you think?
How it looks, and see, I like how you added that. How it looks in the film.
That's right. Yep, the skeleton versus the xenomorph, the big chap, as they called him.
Well, see, this is how I'm kind of breaking this down. With the xenomorph, you see a lot of close-ups of the head and face and the mouth.
That's right.
You barely see the whole figure, you know. And in Terminator, you do kind of see the whole figure, but it's kind of, you know, obviously it's at that time some stop motion, you know, is going on when he's hunting Kyle Reese. And then of course the torso part when it starts crawling and trying to get Sarah Connor. I'm still gonna go with Alien. And my reasoning for that is, you know, you do get to see the big chap. You don't see him as much or in as bright a light as when you're seeing the exoskeleton go after Kyle Reese, but the design of just the head when there's those close-ups and you see, you know, the fluid coming down and you see the extra mandible coming through and just, you know, you see the claws, you know, reaching out and so forth with how they kept it in shadows and so forth. It's still a great design that, you know, and obviously in the movies that precede, you see it a lot more in different lighting and so forth. But I love the design of both, but I'm going with Alien on this one.
All right. Eric, how about you?
Love them both, but I got to go with Terminator. And I mean, the easiest way to put it is I'm a sucker for a skeleton in general. They're one of my favorite things, you know, when it comes to horror, Halloween, anything like that. So you add something I already love, then you make it metal. You know what I mean? So it looks cool as hell. Then you add those red eyes, and that's what's killer to me. It's kind of like, you know, Uber Jason looks pretty sweet, but when you add those red contacts to Kane, shit's on. That's what I like about the villain design of the Terminator. The xenomorph is very creative. It's very scary. I like how it's kept in the dark. So you kind of have to imagine what it looks like. But when we finally get to see Arnold, you know, flesh is all melted off. He just looks so cool. And I love just how Cameron shows every bit of this Terminator. We even get to see his metal freaking feet. You know what I mean? Right. And he looks great. And again, just he looks wicked enough as it is with the metal teeth, the close up of the skulls, but those eyes and just how they open and close. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
they're focusing. Ooh,
All
love
right.
it.
Okay. For me, again, this is a tough one. Both have great designs. They're both amazing, but I'm actually going to go with the Terminator on this one. And Eric, you said a lot of what I was thinking, because you just get that full body. When I think of that scene, and of course it was in the intro when he comes out of the fire, which is of course the genesis for this whole thing. That's what Cameron had as a nightmare, or as he called it, dream, is this robot coming out of the ashes of a fire, and so forth and so forth. But when you see that and the look that Kyle gives it, kind of like, oh man, and it just pans up from the bottom all the way up to his head, and then the eyes with that little turn that he does. It's just fantastic stuff. It looks so amazing. Just as a design, it just looks so cool. Now that's not taking anything away from the big chap, because obviously the design of the xenomorph is fantastic. But like you said, Kill, we do have it in a lot of shadow. Obviously we see the head and the claws and stuff like that, and of course it works because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be in the shadows, coming out of the dark. But I'm just edging this out to the Terminator because we do get the full view of exactly what it looks like. So I'm just barely edging it out to the T-800. Okay. In the chat, Alan saying the alien looks so damn angry and wet. There you go. And Keith said, yeah, or if you believe the Outer Limits team, Cameron just watched their episode. Yeah, the whole controversy that was
I didn't hear about that.
No. Well, supposedly, there was, and God, I can't remember now. I was just thinking about it the other day before we had solidified that we were doing this this episode, but it was settled out of court because there was, God, let me look it up. I'm actually going to do something I usually don't do and take a second. Because there was controversy about that Cameron didn't.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yes.
I just knew about the whole fever dream thing he said.
Yeah. And that's what he said it came from. Yes, they had claimed that Cameron had stolen the story idea from an episode of the Outer Limits called Soldier. And and you even can see at the end of the film, they give credit to the works of Harlan Ellison. Look for that at the end, right when the movie ends and Sarah's going off into the distance. So it was settled out of court, of course. And I mean, look, it's interesting stuff. I won't get deep into that, but everything is inspired in some way by something else.
Oh yeah.
At this point, even in 1984. So, but obviously, yeah, Cameron made his own thing, even if there was inspiration. And again, that's if you believe it, like Keith was saying. So,
right.
All right. Very, very cool. Okay, next category. The scarier threat, Kill. The scarier threat. We're in the situation of these characters. Who gets the point and why?
This one is, for me, actually easier than I thought it would be. Scarier threat is Alien. And I'm going to tell you why. They're in space. You can't go anywhere. Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor, they have a car. They take time to go to the hotel and have sex. Like they can like stop. Whereas once the xenomorph is grown and is in the tunnels, and after Dallas essentially dies, or we believe he's dead, they don't know where this thing is, but they know it's huge now. And it's killer. It is hunting them. They don't know where it's at, and everyone is on high alert. Ellen Ripley is now essentially the captain, and there's no weapons also. They don't really have weapons, so now they're all kind of like, well, look, we got to hunt this thing down. We got some torches. We got this, we got some harsh language. That's all we got. Whereas in Terminator, Kyle Reese, you know, he takes a shotgun and makes it a sawed-off shotgun. He gets weapons. He steals the things that he needs. He steals a car. Just keep driving. It'll turn into It Follows, because essentially, you know, the Terminator will just keep coming after you. But get out of LA. Don't stop and have sex. Don't stop and sleep. Sleep on the road. Sleep when you're dead. Whereas an alien, if you sleep, this thing is just going to come out of a vent, and you're going to be cocooned in a nest just waiting to be the next xenomorph. So you got to go for alien.
All right, Eric, how about you?
See, basically everything Kill said is what's making me choose the Terminator. And it's because, you know, yes, we're in space, like we always put ourselves in the film with this scarier threat. We got nowhere to go with Alien, but you know what? We can go anywhere in the Terminator, and they've proven it. He still finds you. You know what I mean? If he's got to take out your mother, pretend to be her, he'll still find you. He can take out an entire police station and still find you. You can melt off all his skin, rip him in half, and he will still come for you. Plus, the advantage, now don't get me wrong, that alien has acid for blood. So that's one of the things that the Terminator does not have. But one thing that the alien cannot do, at least that we know of, he cannot fire weapons.
Right.
So the Terminator can get you from a distance. It's got, I have detailed files. It'll find a way to find you. It'll find out where you are some way, somehow. Like you know, I said in my opening introduction, it will not stop until she is dead. It won't stop until we are. You know what I mean? Lack of a better term. Gotta go. Eventually, you could probably find a way to take out the xenomorph carefully. You got to be lucky to take out a T-800.
That's well said, man. That was well said. You know, it's a tough situation for both. You know, you have space to kind of move around in one, and the other one you have a lot less. Both of these antagonists are just, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm gonna go with Alien, and the reason I'm gonna go with Alien, and not just because it's in space or we don't have as much room to maneuver around in, but the xenomorph, there is just, again, it's a beast, right? It's a beast. The face hugger is a beast. That's all that they do. Now, granted, that's the same thing for the Terminator, but the Terminator also imitates, which means there's a little bit of wiggle room. The alien, the xenomorph doesn't. The xenomorph is all about getting down to business and moving from one stage of life to the next. And, you know, unless you do have the ability to fight it off, you know, like with fire or whatever, and you kind of have to be lucky with the xenomorph as well. You know, I mean, imagine how that movie would have gone if, like, especially at the end when Ripley pulled her maneuver with the spacesuit. I mean, it could have gone a lot different. That xenomorph could have been a lot more aggressive and just been like, you know what, I'm not even going to give you the chance to put on some clothes, bro. You're done, and it's over. You know, so I'm gonna edge this out to Alien just by a smidge. But both of these would be, it would suck. It would really suck to be up against either one of these. Oh man. All right. We got DJ in the house too. Scott is going with Alien. Brandon is going with the Terminator. All right. Alan says Alien. The Terminator still has to use a phone book. There you go. That was good. His education's in the house. What's going on? But you know, that also shows that the Terminator also has that intelligence. You know, that's another factor too. You know, and geez, I might even. No, I'm not going to change my answer, but it makes you wonder.
Well, but you know, there's one thing I also thought of. If there was a kid in LA, a kid had a Molotov cocktail, threw it at the Terminator, burnt the skin off, he's not going to be so stealthy anymore, just walking around all the other humans now. Because now he looks like a heavy metal skeleton walking around the streets of LA. Although the same could be said if the xenomorph is walking around the streets, you know.
That's right. No doubt. Okay, next category. The atmosphere kill. The atmosphere in the film. Who gets the point and why?
Uh, you know, I like the atmosphere of both movies. LA looks dark, wet, dirty. You know, it's you know, scary. You know, it can be scary. But I'm gonna go with Alien because the atmosphere, and you said this earlier, I think, Knight, the Nostromo is a character of itself. You know, the music is a character. So it's just dripping with the atmosphere, literally. You know, a lot of pipes and stuff drip. But it's just there. It's so present. And the atmosphere is there even before we have the alien, even before we have them go down to the planet, even before the face hugger comes back. And you know, and then also on that, you know, it's just this sterile feeling compared to the oil rig feeling. Like Mother, her chamber is very white, it's sterile, it's a circle, it's clean, whereas the rest of the Nostromo looks like an oil rig. You know, it's dirty, it's oppressive, it's steam and wet stuff dripping from pipes. But that atmosphere of fear and uncertainty and dread is there once everything starts going crazy. So yeah, I gotta go with Alien on this one.
Okay, all right, Eric, how about you?
Oh, 100% Alien. Terminator has great atmosphere, but you know what? And the atmosphere for me for Terminator starts high and then it dips up and down, which isn't, you know, picking at it or anything like that because it works fine. But in this category, it's got a little bit of moments of levity, which are needed.
Yes.
You know, you have the love story, which is needed for this particular movie. But Kill used the perfect word when he was talking about Alien: sterile, dirty, grimy, and you get that from how we praise the opening sequence. Less is more. You get a feel of the ship. You're feeling how cold this movie is just by seeing how the ship looks, and then the tension builds and builds and builds, and you feel like one of the most iconic scenes in this is Dallas in the vents.
Yep.
Even before that happens, you're feeling claustrophobic inside that ship. And that helps as this movie goes on because that finale, Ripley's just in that one little room. You know what I mean? So you're still compact and feeling that while she's fighting this alien. So I think the atmosphere of a horror movie or sci-fi, however you want to look at it, but that atmosphere of just being confined, the tension, the danger, it ramps up all the way until the very end, and Ridley nailed it.
Okay. All right. For me, you know, both have great atmosphere, but you guys nailed it on the head. This has to go to Alien. And the reason why is because that consistency is all throughout the film. You know, you have that tension right even when you don't even see the crew right in the beginning of the film because you don't know what's going on. And the way that the camera is like your POV, it's claustrophobic, it's grimy, it's gritty, it's dirty, and you don't know what to expect around every corner. You're in space. You don't have anyone that's coming to save you right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are happening from the beginning of the film all the way through the end. By the time she's laying in the cryo chamber, that's when I finally was able to take a breath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was, you know what I'm saying? And Terminator obviously has great atmosphere too. But like you said, Eric, you know, you do have those moments where you have a little levity and you kind of can, you know, obviously Kyle and Sarah with their romance and so forth, which is needed in that story. But when you compare the atmosphere one versus the other, I just feel as though that Alien edges it out because it's there from the very beginning all the way to the point where she finally gets that son of a bitch out of the spaceship.
Yep.
All right. Very, very cool. Let's keep going on here. And let's keep going on. Next category is, and let me just pull this up here. Hold on one second. Okay. It's going to be the scariest scene kill. The scariest scene. What do you think it is and why?
This is an easy one for me. As a kid watching this movie, even watching it on broadcast TV where, you know, certain things were toned down.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator, the scene where you see the exoskeleton for the first time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because, you know, you're watching this movie and yeah, you can see that there's something under the head or behind his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know if it's the entire body or not. And when you see that scene where they blow up the big rig, they blow up the truck, like, oh, we did it, you know, oh, typical
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood movie, we did it. And you see it
Mm-hmm.
start moving and you just see this thing come out, and it's like, that's scary. But when it does the turn and it's like, oh shit.
Mm.
And I remember as a kid watching that, and Night, you may remember this, and I was just like, oh, like
Yeah.
what? And
Yeah.
you know, and just the walk, that slow
Yeah.
walk,
Mhm.
grabs a piece of metal, you know, it's like swinging it, like, oh, it's done. Kyle, Reese Pieces, it's a wrap for you, sir. You know, and the scene expands more and becomes even more frightening once he does sacrifice himself. But I'm just talking about just the beginning of
Yeah.
the stalking end, where
Yeah.
you see that skeleton, and it's literally still to this day, you know, just it's a crazy scene. It's a beautiful scene, and when I see it, I still think back to when I was a kid and saw that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, goddamn. So yes, Terminator.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, Eric, how about you?
That was well said. Now this category is scariest scene, so I'm going
Mhm.
with scares. Alien.
Mhm.
Now, if you would have asked me this when I was in high school, I would have picked one scene, and I won't say that just in case that's the scene that Knight picks. What I'm going to go with now is I guess you would say, the demise of Yaphet Kotto and
Mhm.
Veronica Cartwright. The way
Mhm.
it's filmed, the lack of dialogue, you just
Yeah.
hear the music, you see the close ups of her crying.
Mhm.
You see the close up of him trying to fight it, and his mouth he's screaming at the top of his lungs. But in space, no one can hear you scream. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? The way Ridley shot that, it's just terrifying to watch, because you have to use your imagination with what happens to these two characters. You can put two and two together. It's not gonna be pretty, but that's what scares me, is what my mind does when I'm watching these type of movies. And that's
Mhm.
why again, we'll go back to last night, how, with the scene with the kid with the pumpkin mask, we don't know what's going on in there. It's your
Right.
mind that's playing tricks on you, getting the gears to turn. We don't know what actually happened to Yaphet Kotto and Veronica, but just imagining it, that's terrifying to me. And again, the lack of dialogue and just seeing their facial expressions, that's
Mm.
terrifying. Going with
Mm.
Alien.
All right. Well said, man. You know, this is a tough category because both of these films have scenes that are they're best. They're the best of all time. They really are. I'm gonna barely edge this out, and I'm even kind of thinking about it as as I'm about to say it, but I'm gonna barely edge this out to Terminator.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. And Kill, your scene that you picked, it's a good one. It really stood out to me. I'll never forget it. But this is the scene that I'm talking about, is after Kyle sacrificed himself, and you almost thought like that was gonna work. Because it was kind of like, you've seen that in movies before when they get the final, like, gotcha, I got a grenade, I'm gonna blow you
Yeah.
up, and you're done. And there's this big explosion, and we're all like, oh crap. And then when he was still coming after Sarah, like
Mhm.
she realizes that Kyle sacrificed himself. He's dead. So you're like, oh crap, man, the hero is dead. Our soldier, the one that kind of kept this thing on the up and up, so to speak, because Sarah isn't a warrior yet. She's on that
Right.
path, and you can start to see the shades of that, which was really smart. It was a great character development in this film, both films, of course. But the idea that she was on her own in this factory and she was injured, and now the Terminator is still coming for her. There's no one there to help her. I thought it was scary as hell. And it's funny too, because when we were kids, when I was a kid, I didn't look at the Terminator as sci-fi or action. I looked at it as horror because it scared the shit out
Okay.
of me. It really did. And Kill, you remember how that was. I mean, we were both just in awe, of this film. And I just remember just him coming after her and just being so relentless, and just thinking to myself, how can he be stopped? He can't be stopped. Nothing is stopping him. He just keeps coming back. He gets put on fire, he gets blown up, he gets shot up to hell. Nothing can stop this robot. So for me, growing up, this was a horror film. It really, really was. And obviously, as I got older and I started to kind of just become more savvy with movies, I started to understand, all the other little things going on. But yeah, man, this film, a lot of great moments, and to me, that's the scariest scene. So, all right, Whew, that was tough, man. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. I know I'm a little bit behind. Hey DJ, Brandon saying, is it scarier to y'all when the T-800 doesn't speak but uses facial expressions during his execution scenes? It's all scary, man. I mean, the way Arnold played it, I mean, seriously, it was just amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Paula saying she agrees. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. Okay, let's go to our next category, Kill. Let's see what we got next. And of course, you knew we were going to do this. We got to make a choice. Who are you going to pick as the iconic character? Is it the Xenomorph or is it the Terminator?
So I mean, let me just clarify something. Just the one is my favorite, or
I'll let you define it, because sometimes it is about favorites. You know what I'm saying? There is that in our answers as well.
well, okay, then I'll go into this in a different way. There's pros and cons to each of these killing machines. The Terminator can mimic your voice. The Terminator can, blend in better. Like Eric said, the Terminator can use weapons, and things of that nature. The Xenomorph is a creature. It's more of an animal. But every aspect of the Xenomorph is something that can kill. It doesn't need to shoot a gun. But with that being said, the Terminator is a supercomputer. It is smarter. The Xenomorph is smart, but the level of intelligence that the Terminator has is a little bit more sophisticated. And if the Terminator really wanted to do it, somehow break into a facility and get access to a nuke by killing everyone and just nuke a target. So I'm gonna go with Terminator on this one. I'm gonna give Terminator their flowers, because I do see, what like a really aggressive Terminator in certain circumstances could do if they chose to. So,
okay. All right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this a different route, because you did say the term iconic. Going Terminator. The Terminator, now no disrespect to Conan or anything, the Terminator made Arnold.
Right.
Everyone knows Arnold as the Terminator. Everyone knows who the Terminator is. The Terminator has transcended pop culture. You know what I mean? You have UFC fighters or boxers using the Terminator as a nickname. You know what I mean? Even my daughter knows who the Terminator is, and I haven't let her see the Terminator film, but she knows what that character is. No disrespect to the Xenomorph, but if you ask like a random person what a Xenomorph is, unless you're like into movies, they might not know what that is. You'd have to say, oh, the alien from the Alien movies. You say, hey, what's the Terminator? Even if they've never seen those films, they'll say, oh, that robot that Arnold was back in the 80s. You know what I mean? So I think that it's iconic because it transcends movies. And again, it helped start a fantastic career for Arnold Schwarzenegger. He got, he got his foot off the ground with Conan, but the Terminator, he got in that rocket ship and he blasted off to the moon. You know what I mean? So
all right.
Based on that, I'm going Terminator.
Okay. All right. For me, yeah, again, this is a challenging one too, because obviously Both villains, both antagonists, both characters are great. I mean, seriously, we're talking about two franchises that are decades old. You know what I'm saying? And obviously they've had different trajectories, but just the names, of these franchises, they're iconic. I'm also going to give the point to the Terminator. And the reason for that is similar to what you were saying too, Eric, as far as how this role it could have gone so bad. It really could have. Even
O.J.
at first,
Simpson. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Even Arnold at first wasn't really so sure about, if this was just going to be nothing more than a B-level sci-fi action film. He loved Cameron and he knew that Cameron had special ability, but this project as a whole, he wasn't 100% sure on it at first, until they started to kind of see back the dailies and kind of say, okay, this is what you're doing with this movie. I get it. Um, the xenomorph is great, but the reason I'm going with Terminator is because the Terminator really takes that limelight. You know what I mean? Whereas the xenomorph is connected to the characters that it's going after. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you could have a Terminator film and you could be so invested in this character because he is just so compelling. The way Arnold portrayed him, that stoic, like they were saying in the chat, his facial expressions. He doesn't have any facial expressions, and the accent and just the way he moved. Again, taking inspiration from Yul Brynner. I want to give credit where credit's due. Yul Brynner from Westworld. Shout out to Westworld. If you guys don't know, in the chat, again, we talk about a lot of stuff on this channel. Listen to what we're saying. This is great stuff in cinema.
It's a
But
good one.
Arnold got inspiration from Yul Brynner from Westworld. And so all of these things, it just make the Terminator just so iconic and edging out the Xenomorph for me. So there we go. All right. Let me catch back up to the chat here. This is really tight. Although I will say, if you guys are Alien fans in the chat, you're gonna want to make some moves. You're gonna want to make some moves. Brandon saying the Xenomorph is smart because it's more primal than the Terminator. That's a good way to word it, primal. Whereas the Terminator, it's computer made, so it has more to work on. There you go. Okay, very, very cool. Keith saying great points. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Yeah, this is a great conversation, guys. This is this is so tough, man.
Yeah, it
So
is.
damn tough. All right, let's go to our next category. Next category, kill, is going to be the most iconic scene. The most iconic scene in either film. Who gets the point and why?
So the word iconic, I gotta.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't know if you had your answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta say the police station scene from Terminator.
Oh, wow.
I gotta say that, and my reasoning for that is, this giant big biker looking guy strolls in there, and he starts scanning. He's like looking around at the window. He's taking, internal measurements of force and, how much pressure do I need to break through this? And he knows his prey is in there. And he says the iconic "I'll be back" line, which is iconic. And his version of coming back is getting a car and just barreling through a Los Angeles police station where he unalives 30 plus men and women and barely gets Sarah. And that scene is just, it's horrific if you think about it. It's,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that scene would not exist today for obvious reasons that we all know. But for this, you're watching it and you're just like, holy crap, I guess this is what a computer or would deem my course of action is to get into this building and murder anyone that gets in my way to get to my target. And he literally does the most direct thing to get from point A to B that a computer would think. Like, okay, I'm just going to go in here and just, mow through everyone like he's Michael Myers with guns. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Terminator for this one.
Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna jump in, Eric, because Kill, I almost thought you were going in a different direction, so I'm a little surprised. And by the way, we're quarter of, so we're gonna have to go through this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the most iconic scene is, and to me, it's not even close. And these are two great movies, but I had never seen this. No one ever saw this. It's got to be the chest bursting scene.
I thought
It's
of
got
that.
to be. It's got to be. Nobody knew. The actors didn't know. I mean, obviously, other than John Hurt. Who thinks of that? What is going on? You never seen anything like that. It was so crazy. As a kid, that blew my mind. That almost messed me up more than the actual xenomorph itself. Just seeing that happen, and to this day, it's still so effective. So the chest bursting scene to me is, I mean, it's universes ahead of anything else. And that's not to put shade on Terminator, but I'm just saying something that you had never seen before, and like you can never redo that. You know what I mean? Like it's done, it's in there, it's history. But that first time is just so crazy. So that's what I'm going with. Eric, how about you?
Both scenes you both picked are the most iconic scenes in both films. I'll be back.
Hmm.
Chest burster. You said it, Knight. It's the chest burster scene, mainly because it is. I think the "I'll be back" is more iconic than the actual police station massacre. So it's just one
Hmm.
line. Yes, it's now in all of his movies. It's like the Stanley cameo. When's he gonna say it? When's he gonna say it?
Yeah.
You said it perfectly with Alien. We've never seen that before. And we really haven't had that many oh shit moments since
That's right.
that really leave that mark
Yeah.
in film history.
Yep.
Alien.
All right, man. All right, very cool. In the chat, people are going with police station, the chest bursting scene. Let's see. Yeah. We're all over the place, man. Rightly so. And yes, I agree, Russell. Just to say, rest in peace to Psycho Sid. No doubt
That's
at all,
right.
man. We're losing so many legends everywhere, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right, Kill. You knew we were going to come to this sooner or later, but we got to know who gets the point, Ellen Ripley or Sarah Connor?
I'm going with Ellen Ripley. And and I'll be very brief. Even though they both her and Sarah have growth throughout the movie,
Hmm.
I feel Sarah has more growth in her movie, whereas Ellen Ripley doesn't need as much growth. She's already second in command.
Hmm.
She is the only logical one that's just like, hey, don't bring that on to the ship. We have protocols. And then Ash did, Ash type shit. And then, and then she waits. She's like, hey Ash, let me talk to you,
Type
MFer.
shit.
Mhm.
I thought when he's off the ship, who's in charge? Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. But yet you overrode me. Do you want to get written up? So
Ah,
Ellen Ripley's a badass, and once again, she doesn't have weapons, and she doesn't have a Kyle Reese protecting her. Now, granted, she has a crew, but the crew is getting aced out.
Yep.
yeah.
And then that last scene where they're on an even smaller spaceship where there's nowhere for her to run, she has to
Right.
think really quick.
Mm.
Just she does what she has to do. Going for Alien, Ellen Ripley for the win.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Oh, Ripley, hands down. Don't get me wrong. I love Sarah, how she changes. She's sweet and playful in the very beginning. She's a down on her luck waitress dealing with asshole customers, and
Hmm.
her roommate's creepy boyfriend. But then she makes that arc. I mentioned it in the opening scene when Ripley is not putting up with Yaphet Kotto's shit. She tells him to fuck off. She's one of the boys, and that's what I
Yeah.
like. Now, and she doesn't take crap from anyone. She doesn't take crap from Dallas. She refuses to open the door. Like Kill said, she she will talk shit to Ash, like what did you do type of thing. And you know what? I'm a sucker for a lady who will go back and get her cat. You know,
Yes.
I love that she goes and saves Jonesy. And I think her arc, I don't know, her I guess you'd say badass arc, in between the two is
Hmm.
is is stronger than Sarah's, because Sarah doesn't really kind of get it until Kyle is gone. Ripley
Yes.
she's really up there, like halfway through the freaking movie, and
Yeah.
stays there. So gotta go
pretty
Ripley.
much.
All right, good point, man. This is a challenging one because I think both of these ladies are great examples of not only the quote unquote final girls, but just a great example of how you can do a character the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all organic, and I absolutely love both of them. We've talked about both of these characters a lot on this channel over the years, and I would dare say for me, Kill and Coriander, these are just two of our favorites when you talk about characters, you know, actresses who played badass characters. But there is no lying here, and when it comes push to shove, I've got to go with Ripley. I just gotta listen. The theme song has Sigourney Weaver's name in it. There's a reason for that. I mean, so it's like, you know, whenever I used to play the theme song and I get to that place, like, that's right, Sigourney Weaver. Just everything she represented in this film. It was so cool to see that rise, right? Because you're following this crew. Everyone's fantastic. You got Kane, the first one that wakes up and has a lot of important moments. Obviously, gets attacked by the face hugger. John Hurt's fantastic. You follow him, you're invested in him, but also Tom Skerritt. He's the captain. You know, Dallas is amazing. He's making choices. And, you know, you've got Ripley in third in command, and she rises to the occasion. And everything about it is fantastic. This takes nothing away from Sarah Connor.
Right.
Linda Hamilton will always be a G in my eyes. Shout out to Beauty and the Beast. Kill, you know what I'm talking about. When
Yeah,
we
my
were
mom
kids.
watched that.
That's right. So did ours. So that'll always be special. Linda Hamilton is a gem. I love her. But Sigourney Weaver, just these two films versus each other. Now, we might have another conversation next week. I'm going to tease that right now. But for these two movies facing each other, man, I've got to edge it out to Ripley because of just a great arc. It's a fantastic arc, man. So, all right.
Let's not
Very
forget
cool.
Linda. She was in a favorite of ours, Children of the Corn. You want to do a
That's
deep
right.
cut?
That's right.
Outlander.
We got your
Outlander.
woman. Yeah.
We have your woman. All right. Real quick, too, in the chat, we got Elm Street coming in the house. $5 super chat. Thanks so much. Oh, wow. Okay. We're getting close.
Oh,
We got
shit.
a $5 super chat going to Alien. All right. There we go. $5 super chat. This is going to be close, man. We had a 5 and a 10 to Terminator. Now we got a 5 to Alien. 5 points to Alien. Very cool, man. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate that and always having fun here with us in the chat. And look, man, I just got to do this again because it's just so much fun. Shout out to the late, great one himself. Here we go.
Here. We're fine. It is not in the file. It is not. You son of a bitch!
God, I love him in that movie.
I love it, man. He's just pimp slapping everybody throughout the whole movie.
I've been aching my brain on a way to get that to Battle World. That's a tough one. But
It's going to be a tough one. But yep. You're right. Okay, so thank you so much for the Elm Street. We appreciate that. That has literally closed the gap a little bit. So again, you Alien guys, this is it. We're getting close to the end. Next category, the finale kill. Who gets the point and why?
Oh man. Oof.
rip that Band-Aid, dude.
If you ask me on any other day, this could easily change. I'm gonna have to go Terminator.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go Terminator with like what I considered the scariest scene, leading all the way to her being this close to having her neck snapped. If there was not a crusher in that plant, or if the power, if it was unplugged and there was no power, done. But just the sheer fact of the chase, and you see just the red eyes as it's crawling, and how she just gets out and just, you know, she's reaching and she's hoping she can hit it in time, and the hand is right there. Whew. Now, of course, no disrespect to Alien, that's tough. She's in her undergarments, about to go to sleep, and she sees a little hand come out of the fog. Like, wait, what is that? Like, oh shit, you know. But that one is a little quicker. She gets into her suit, she waits, shoots him, airlock, and Hopefully the alien's dead out in space. You know, done.
Well,
But hey, if you know, you know.
if you know, you know.
But yeah, the finale to Terminator is just iconic and so scary. So yeah.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Okay, I'm going to look at this differently. I think both Ripley versus the alien and Sarah versus the Terminator, they're going to cancel each other out because they're both great. I'm looking at what happens after that. And if you would have asked me in high school, I would have picked Alien. I'm going Terminator because I'm also a sucker for symbolism. I like her I love her scene at the gas station. She's showing a little bit of the baby bump. She's talking to the little boy with the photograph. And what I mean with symbolism, he says what's happening in Spanish. What did he say? There's a storm coming. I know. That's great. But yeah, I never noticed this until I was an adult and I was looking at movies differently. Where's she driving? She's driving right into that fucking storm. She's driving into her future. And we know what's happening, even with this one movie, regardless of Kyle dying, the future's gonna happen. You know, the robots, the Terminators are coming. She's preparing by driving headfirst into that storm. Love it. Terminator.
All right. You know, for me, this is so tough, man. I'm just thinking it over in my head, and God,
it's tough.
You know, when I think of finale,
we get the photograph too. We see where the photograph came.
Well,
from.
you know what was great about the photograph is that when the picture was taken, she was specifically thinking about Kyle. Isn't that crazy? The photograph that he had looked at for so long and created his love for this woman, in that photograph, in that moment of that picture, she was thinking of him. Is that crazy shit or what? Who does that stuff? The king of the world. That's who does it. That being said, I gotta go with Alien. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's a great symbolism, like we talked about in Terminator, man. I could change in a second, okay? Let me just put that out there. But I'm gonna go with Alien because, you know, she survived all of this, you know, like basically not by luck, but I mean, you know, you just not even half a step ahead of the xenomorph. She finally gets onto the getaway ship. Everything's looking good. And the thing is on there with her. Yep. No weaponry. She's got to use her smarts. Now, obviously, Sarah did too, but I'm just saying, just the vibe of how all of this came to be. Man, such a roller coaster. I'm going to edge this out to Alien. All right. Whew, this is crazy stuff, man. Okay, this will be our final category. So let me just put this out there to the chat. Troy, I know you're out there. Final category. We've had 2 super chats for the Terminator, and we've had 1 for Alien. That's all I'm going to say. So, and I've already given up enough hints. Once we're done this category, we can't accept points for the movies. Okay. Obviously, if you'd like to help support us, we appreciate that. But after this category, we're done putting points to the films. Okay. Final category. We're going to choose the movie that we want. Kill, which one you going with?
This is tough. I love them both. But one of these I've seen way more times, and I love them both, but I gotta go Alien. It's epic, it's iconic, and that series, you know, peaks and valleys, but that series is still going strong. Shouts out to Alien Earth. Come on and do
it. All right. Eric, you have seen it more than Terminator, huh? I probably figured that, but it was interesting when you said that yeah, wow. Eric, how about you, man?
I'm going Terminator, dude. They're both great films from beginning to end and in different ways. They're both iconic. They both help, you know, change Hollywood with a lot of way sci-fi and horror is done. But, you know, like I showed you guys, I'm wearing a Tech Noir shirt for a reason, to show my hand. Terminator is just more fun for me. And that's sometimes how I look at this choose category. Which one am I going to be the one that puts it? What movie am I going to put in the Blu-ray player over the other? What am I going to sit down and watch if I'm doing laundry, you know, halfway through or whatever? Going Terminator.
All right. For me, this is so tough, guys. I love both of these films. I grew up on both of these films, these 2 franchises. Me and my brother, you know, it's funny. We've been doing this channel for a couple years now. We've had so much fun. Me and my brother have talked about a lot of this shit for years, since we were little boys. Okay. like years of conversations and just back and forth and being nerds and geeking out and all this type of stuff. And I love both of them, but there's no lying here. And for right now, I mean, this could change in 2 seconds, but for right now, when I have to pick one over the other, and I almost can't believe I'm saying it. That's how tough this question is. But I'm gonna give the point to Alien. I'm gonna give the point to
Yeah,
Alien.
you are.
And I can't tell you how many times I've just put that movie on just for background, just to chill, you know, because it's just it you're absorbed into it. It's just it's so artistic. I mean, Terminator is too in its own way, but this world that we're in and this creature that had never been seen before is just fantastic stuff. So I'm going to edge this one out to Alien, but I absolutely love the Terminator. You guys know that the Terminator franchise was one of the first franchises, as well as Alien too, when I think about it, but as a channel that we tackled, and there's a reason for that. So, all right. Okay, we got super chats coming in that came in time. Brandon coming in, $2 super chat saying one more for the Terminator. Oh man, wow. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I was watching the chat, and all three made it in the nick of time.
Yes. Troy made it. Thank goodness. We appreciate it, man. $5 super
We
chat.
were worried about you, Troy.
That's right. For Alien, the cream after recent rewatches, I can firmly say it's Alien. So damn good. Time for Aliens versus T2. That's interesting. You said that. That's all I'm gonna say. So we got 5 points to Alien. All right. Very, very cool. And we have the third one. Oh, wow. Okay. Elm Street coming in with a $10 super chat. Oh boy. Wow. Just when you didn't know where this was gonna go, and all he wrote was Alien. That's all he
Boom.
wrote. Because he
Straight to
knows
the point.
he knows what's going on. Look, let's just do this real quick. And Troy called it out. He knows what's going on. Let's do this. Here we go.
But the cream, yeah, let me say it here. Let me say it out loud. Yeah, you mean Gene Okerlund. You know that I'm the cream. I am the cream, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
man. Woo. This is okay. And we are pressed for time. At least I should say I'm pressed for time because I've got to go to work. But listen, let's do a quick recap kill. And then Eric, I'm going to count up the points and let's see what happens.
Well, look, both of these movies are masterpieces. I don't need to say much more about that. I agree with something Knight said. Like, I can just put Alien on and just have it in the background. And a few years ago, we dissected certain trailers. The trailer for Alien, where there's no spoken words at all. It's just this and just scenes of just insanity going on. People running, people screaming. What looks like people about to die, cats in the screen. It's just insane. If you get a chance, and you're already on YouTube, look it up. Look up the Alien trailer, and there's no spoken word, no guy saying coming to theaters. This thing is crazy. None of that BS. It's just you see an egg, it starts to crack, and then it's just all these frantic scenes. It's amazing. They don't have to have spoken words. Eric, what you got?
Oh man, when I thought of this idea, I threw it by Knight, and he loved it right away. And I'm glad you were all for it too, Kill. I like when it comes to Battle World. Sometimes I like it when we have to dig a little deep and find the good in the not so well received films, kind of like Howling and Silver Bullet. But I really like when we have to put the two perfect films together because we're forced to choose one against the other. We love them both. Which choice we're going to make? Which kid do we love more? You know what I mean? That we wouldn't say in public. But both iconic films, both created great final girls. You know what I mean? People are saying that there's a lack of final girls like in movies. Well, go back to the 80s. We got two of them right here, or 79. Great iconic monsters, whether it's the Xenomorph or the Terminator. This was fun, and it was really hard to do, but let's go, Knight. I'm ready. You got to get to work, and the anticipation.
Ooh. Wow, man, this was crazy, man. Let me just say, this was crazy. And I know you guys can't see it, but I always write down the scores as we were going. They were going back and forth, you know, because I've got them listed, one for Terminator, one for Alien. They were going back and forth panel wise, and the audience really tightened up the gap at the end, which was crazy. Okay, so I always wonder how I should do this to do it the right way. Let me just put it this way. The final score, actually, no. Let me do it this way. The panel score ended up being 22 to 29.
Damn.
And with the super chats coming in, final score 39 to 49. The winner of today's match is Alien. So panel wise, just barely. And then at the end, if Elm Street hadn't have done that chat, it would have been tied at 39.
Wow.
Good for you, Elm Street.
That was the last one to come in. Now, granted, panel-wise, we would have just gone to the panel as the tiebreaker, and panel-wise, it was on Alien's side of things, but way close, right down to the line, so close. Amazing matchup. And like you said at the beginning of this episode, Eric, Terminator obliterated, surprisingly, obliterated RoboCop. So, hey, man, it is what it is. You can't you can't win them all, bro. But Alien won. Wow.
Hey.
Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Whew. All right.
I'm
for you
okay
guys
with
in the
that.
chat. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm telling you, this was crazy. Mayan's happy. Danielle says Terminator is my winner. Yeah, well, but you voted for Alien on some categories. So I'm just saying, we got to keep it real here. Elm Street, yeah, Elm Street was the
good for you, Elm Street.
He was the hero for the people, you know, because again, panel wise, you know, we had it Alien just right above Terminator, but wow, that was crazy, right down to the T. All you guys that did super chats, thank you guys so much. Seriously, it made it so much fun, and it really helps supports us. All I can say, guys, is I can't wait until next week. I can't wait until next week. This is going to be fantastic. We try to have so much fun with these every single week on Tuesday night, so buckle up, guys. Buckle up. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. We appreciate it. Leave some comments, guys. We couldn't get to a lot of you guys. It's just so much going on in the chat, and I'm only a human being. I'm not a Terminator. So, but we will we will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for a fun episode. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and speaking of which, that sign off, it is inspired by the franchise of the Terminator. I'm just going to say that. If you know, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.